Hi everybody. I'd like to show you how to make this wonky kind of box. Christmas is coming and you may want to add a pretty little gift in there, or maybe that you want to do it on a regular day. You just change the style of the paper and then you've got an everyday box. It's so simple. You really don't need a whole lot. An 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and a little bit of designer paper, and the rest is up to you how you embellish it. So cute. And I've added a magnet closure, so there's no problem, and that easy. So you can tell it's very blingy. I love bling, you know me, but it's so cute, so cute. So stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this. We're going to start off with 2 pieces of paper. This one here, I'm going to make it in Christmas, but in the bluish Christmas. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. Cardstock 5 by 5. 2 pieces exactly the same. Then you're going to need some designer paper, and the designer paper is to decorate the box. That is to your choice. You don't need a whole lot. You need some pieces of 1 7/8, pardon me, 1/7/8 by 1/7/8, and I just cut just a strip of them, but you really only need 4. I just had an extra one, and you need 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. I will put it up on the screen, and you are going to need a negative and a positive on a magnetic. These little magnetics, you can get them at any hardware store. You don't need anything heavy because it's not holding a big weight. You're going to need your glue, whatever choice that you have, and how you want to decorate it. So this is how you're going to do it. 2 5 by 5, and you're going to get your envelope maker. Now, if you don't have an envelope maker, you can still do this by charting the middle, making a little indentation, finding the middle of 4 corners, and then running the lines across like you would if you made an envelope. But for this particular one, we are going to put it at 2.5. Set it at 2.5. We are going to punch. And we're going to score. And then from now on, we are just going to add our score line here. We're not going to go by the 2.5 anymore, and we're going to score. Whoops, I forgot to punch. And we're going to punch all 4 sides. And you're going to do that with both pieces. Punch and score. Punch and score. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my other. I'm going to start at 250 at 2.5 inches. I'm going to punch and I'm going to score. Then I'm going to add that score line right in the center of this piece here, like that. I'm going to punch and I'm going to score. I'm going to punch, score, punch, score. I've cut all the pieces ahead of time just to kind of facilitate and try to make the videos shorter and shorter as I go along, because I find that when they're too long, you get boring. You want to craft. You don't want to watch videos like that all the time. So now you have 2 pieces of 5 by 5, which I've cut out of an 8.5 by 11, and I have scored and punched. Now I'm going to grab my scoreboard. Pardon me, I didn't mean to lose my train of thought there. And I am going to go and I'm going to score this. Now, I'm going to score only 1, but I'm going to score it at, it's about 3/8. So when you cut, it'll come right across like that. It should finish right at your end. 3/8 should be just at the tip of that score mark. So you're going to do all four sides of one piece like that. 3/8 coming all the way down. 3/8. Again, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Like that. And again here. Oops. There. I have a hard time seeing that. There you go. So you end up with a piece looking like, see, can you see where all the lines are? Okay. Now that you've done that, you can put this away for now. And you will take a pair of scissors and you are going to cut just across the tip. So you have a little box that's here, just cut at the corner like that. No biggie. I'm sure you've done that to make other boxes. And it just takes the bulk out of the corners. Okay. So now you're going to grab your other piece. And with this one here, you are going to take it and you're going to take your cutting board and you are going to add this piece, which should be at 3/8, and you're going to cut it. Make sure it's straight, and I'm going to use this part here for me, and you're going to cut it at 3/8. This part here you scored at 3/8. This piece here you cut at 3/8. So I'm cutting off 3/8. So you're going to do the four sides here at 3/8. Now you might be wondering, oh, why didn't we do that from the very first? You'll see why. We're doing it this way. It makes the measurements precise, and your score marks are, it just saves a step to make sure that your score marks are all done perfectly. These little boxes can be used for so many things. I mean, you could actually cover them if you wanted to with some fabric. You could cover it with metallic paper, shimmer paper. There's so many things you could do with it. They're so cute. And you know, you're always expecting a square box. Well, this is basically a square box kind of turned sideways. You'll see, because we're making a square, but we're just going to set it up and make it wonky, as I call it. So now I'm going to take this piece and I am going to fold it down. So you can do that with all the four sides. Now this one here, I'm going to fold the lip here and here. I'm just going to fold it all the way around, do all my foldings like this. You could actually do this box with some decorative cardstock if you had some that were thick enough, because you have to make the box solid. This is why I'm using cardstock and then decorating the cardstock, because you want it to be able to hold on. So, okay, so this is the box, right? Now we're going to make this box do this, and that's going to be your cover. So what you do at this point, you open it back up, and you will take some good tape so it'll stay together. You can use glue if you like, or if you wanted to, you can use your glue gun, you know, your two-way tape gun. I like to use the glue tape just because I find it holds a little better, but that's entirely up to you. I wouldn't go running off to buy some just to make this box. That would not be important enough for me to go. So what we're doing here, we're getting the bottom of the box ready. Okay? That's all we're doing here. Now, for your next step, and you're just going to put this aside. Now for your next step, you're going to take your other cover, and if you have a square die, you're all set. I don't have a square die. So this measurement is 3 inches. I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch on each side. So all I'm going to do, and you can do exactly the same thing, is I'm going to make a mark at 1/4 inch. I'm going to take this, make a quarter, and I'm going to cut myself a square out of the top here. So, but if you do have a square dies and you can fit one through here, good for you. And it'll just save you this step. But I don't. I have rectangular, I have round, I have ovals, but I do not have square. Can you believe that? I do not have square. But that's fine. I'm just going to make my marks. I'm just going to set up my marks of 1/4 inch. Like that. And you wouldn't have to necessarily use a pencil. You could actually do it on your scoreboard if you wanted to and follow the score marks. But this is, I'm going to use the pencil mark for better viewing. Then I'm going to take my board to put it underneath because I want to cut it. I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut that square off. Now you may even have some square scallop. That would be cute too. You don't necessarily have to have it straight, but what I leave is about 1/4 inch in order to have some strength to the box. Because what you're creating right now is the hole for this, and you do not want to have it too flimsy because it'll fall apart. But this takes but 60 seconds to measure out and cut out with your X-Acto knife. Before all those dies were out, this is how we did it anyway. So, so there you go, right? So you're just going to cut it out, and then once you've got it cut out, you just pull it apart. Just going to press a little harder on this one. I could pull it, but it just has my blade is starting to get a little dull. But anyhow, so this is what you end up having, okay? So what you want to do at this point is you want to, I prefer to do it before you put it on the box. I would decorate this. So then I would take the remainder of my decorating paper and I would cut out piece to fit over there. So it would be like 1/2 inch. So on your cutting board, it's up to you how you want to do it, but this is how I did it. And you can use the reverse side if you wanted to. You do not necessarily have to use the right side. What I'm doing at this point is I'm just cutting off 4 strips to fit on that ledge. I like that. You do not have to put any if you don't like. I do. I love to decorate. I find that it makes the box. So I have 4 pieces right here. And all I'm going to do at this point is I am going to add them on this. So you can do it different ways. You can use, if you would like, you can use your, you could use your good old gun. You could use liquid glue. You could use a 2-way tape. And all I do is I add it on right to the edge. Like this. And then I didn't do the length of it. You could be typical and do that. I didn't. I just cut it and then I snip off the end. But if you wanted to be precise, you would just need to measure and go for it. So this is what I do. This is how I did the other one. And I just snip off a piece. I just find that it reinforces it, reinforces the corners, and it's really pretty. I like it. I absolutely love it. And you know, you might be wondering, what could I add in that box? What would you use it for? Well, I'll tell you, if you were going to do a tassel for someone to put it as a bookmark or on a backpack or anything like that, how cute would that be? Instead of just having it wrapped in tissue paper, having it in a little box like this, it would end up doing two things. It would not only doesn't it look cute, it makes a little box for trinkets later. You know, they want to add something. Maybe you want to add chocolates in there and just give a few chocolates to an addition on a gift or whatever. The sky's the limit, really. Now I'm going to take my 4x4 here, and I am going to, not 4x4, 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 is what I meant to say. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it from corner to corner. Okay? So you're going to cut these. You can use your scoreboard or use your scissors as long as your cuts are corner to corner, like so. It's easy as pie, guys. Doesn't complicate anything. And then we're going to glue them on the corner. I just find you have more give to grab onto than if you just cut it, just add it on later, because you can push down and it's harder to push on the box when it's only half assembled. Now what I did for this one here, you can use whatever glue you would like, but I used my Zig. I love my Zig for things like this, and I just glued it on like so. I love this glue, this particular stick, and I'm just adding it to the corner as a decoration like that. Okay, so you're going to do 4 sides, and if you want to, you can rotate your design, as in frontwards, backwards. It's up to you what you like. What I mean is that you could glue out the opposite side here, and then you had like in my instance, I would have polka dots instead of the blue snowflakes and stuff. And you just do all 4 sides. Now once you're done with this, we are going to do the bottom end, and it's like I said, it's up to you. You can do it before or after. I prefer before, but and it goes real quick. It's not something that takes a long time. And then you have your top of your box. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to add, this is why you need so many, because you're going to do the bottom also. Oops. I just don't find the polka dots do much for me for Christmas. Not the blue polka dots. So that's why I'm using all the one side. There you go. There's 2. There's 3 and 4. Could have done these beforehand, but I wanted you to see the process and how quick it goes. So, because sometimes we see videos and we say, oh, you know, oh, that probably won't take long, and then it takes a lot longer than what you had intended. But this here goes really quick. And cutting your paper is not a big deal. I had them cut before, but to save on time, but that's not the big issue. The thing is to put all your boxes like this. And then I cut out a piece to fit in the center here. And what I did with it, I'm not too sure. But you can cut your bottom piece. Here it is. You can cut your bottom piece at 3 by 3. I thought I had cut it, but I guess not. Let me cut one piece off. Because all you need to do is measure this. This is 3 by 3. So I had it 2.5 by 2.5 is what I did. That's right. 2.5 by 2.5. I thought I had cut it, but I guess not. So it takes me a minute here, a second. There here you go. 2.5 by 2.5. I'm going to sit that in the middle right there. And I'm going to add it to my, sometimes it's easier than trying to find it. I've been crafting all day. My desk is not a pretty sight, but that's okay. That's what they're there for. But I am not a clean crafter. I just clean it up. I just clean up my mess after. All right, we got the bottom, we've got the top. We're ready to roll. So you can do one of two things. You can cut these off. Before or after really doesn't matter. You could even leave them there if you wanted to and just roll them back. All I do is I'm going to peel off my strips. Like that. Like that. Like that. Just going to cut off that excess right here. Just putting a slit in it so it won't peel off. And I'm just going to pull it back like that. We've done that many times, I'm sure. Now, here comes the fun part. You're going to take the corner of your lid. So you have a square here. You're going to turn it like this. You're going to take the corner and you're going to line it with the corner of this one. All right? And then you're going to glue it. You're going to lay it right on top. Like that. The first piece normally is the hardest, not the hardest, but you just want to make sure your measurement is right, because if not, you're going to not going to be able to, it's going to eventually not put the rest of your box together. And just keep going around and around and around. And it's as simple as that. And you just add your pressure underneath the glue, which you're inside. Find that perfectly. I hope you can see on the camera what I'm doing here, guys. That. And like, whoops. That. I'm just going to snug this one in like that. There, you got your base. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that cute? It's pretty simple, huh? Pretty simple. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to create a lid like this. So at this point, what I did is I grabbed onto my two magnets, positive and negative. And you can do this whichever way you find it works for you. All I did was just cut up a piece of scrap, and not too long. And then I took one of my pieces, because what you need to do is you're going to have the piece going up, not this way, where where you would glue it. So what I did is I took a piece, just a piece of scrap like that, and I just added some two-way tape on it, like this. Oops, it's got a bit of glue on this side. I just glued it on that piece, like that, and then I just slid it underneath in the center. And then it automatically glued on that. Okay? That's pretty much as easy as you're going to get it. And the other piece will fit on top like that. Okay? Now we're making our cover. So the cover, to measure the cover, I just used the cardstock, and I cut a piece of 3 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Okay, because this is square at 3 inches. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock at 3 1/2 inches. 3 1/2 inches long by 3 inch. And here, if you wanted to, 3 1/4 inches by 3. If you wanted to, really, you could use a fancy die or whatever. That's totally up to you. I like to score this at 1/4 inch. And so I'm going to go, this is 1/4 inch here. I'm going to score it at 3 backwards. I just find that it bends better, okay? But that's up to the individual. Like I said, I find that it works so much better. I'm going to add some tape on the underneath. And what you're looking at me creating here is a cover. I'm going to glue it on the back, and it's going to become the cover for the front. Now, I want to decorate the front to match what that is. So you know that this is 3 by 3, so I'm going to cut a piece of 2.75 by 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. 2 3/4. By 2 3/4. Sorry for the noise, guys. I'm using my big X-Acto guillotine cutter here. I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. I need to take another little swab off this. Here. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it on top of that. Where is my glue? Right here. Just going to add the glue. So I'm going to add that. Whoop, 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 whoop. One thing about this glue, once you put it on, you got to make sure that it's on, because you're going to, there you go. So this is my lid. Now, I'm going to take my lid and I'm going to, now that it's all, you can finish the top after if you feel like eating a rosette or whatever, putting a rosette on. All I'm going to do now is add my cover on top, as you can tell. Adhere that to the back. Make sure that it fits in the front. Like so. There you go. And I'm going to take my magnet at this point. Now we're starting to see, can you see the progress? Now you're going to notice that at the corner here, you're going to have 2 corners where the back end is glued. You're going to have 2 corners here that stick out. All I did was take my scissors and snapped it off like that. And I added my hand inside and just pushed to make sure that everything was tight. Like that. Now, all I want to do is add the magnet. So, I particularly don't depend on the glue on the back. I like to add my own glue, so I just put a glue dot, and you know where your first magnet is. I add it on. If I can take my finger off, like that, and then I pull my cover. Make sure that it's square, like that, and I glue it on, like that. Okay, so we have our box, and it looks mighty fine in my eyes. Now, what you can do with this box to cover this, you can do many things. What I did inside here is I just added a piece, just a piece of decorative leftover piece, and I'm just going to cut that in about 1 inch. About a 1 inch piece right here, like that, and I'm just going to glue it on. It's up to you how fancy you want to make it, if you want to add this or not. I particularly like it. And I'm just going to add it on top right here, like that. And it covers the magnet. Then I just take my scissors, cut off the excess rather, like that. And look, you have a magnetic box. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. And it's so pretty. Now, how you want to decorate it at this point, it's totally up to you. You can, I added some rhinestone going around the side. You can cut this a little short if you want, give it a bigger border. You can add it right on that. I made a little rosette with the leftovers, and I just glued it on. And added another rhinestone on top. But what you do with it at this point is totally up to you. I think what I'm going to do is because this particular paper that I'm using is aged, I'm going to take some blue sapphire. I have blue sapphire, maybe? No, I don't think I'm going to use. Maybe shaded lilac. There you go. I'm going to use peacock feathers. And this is on a fly because this was not planned, but as I'm looking at it, and I'm just going to do up the sides with the peacock feather. I think that'd be pretty. Yeah. That's all I'm doing at this, and you can see it change. I don't know if you can see that on camera, guys, but I can anyway from here. It's really, really sweet. Really sweet. Now, another thing you could do is on the lid, if you wanted to, you could add a ribbon here. And let's do that. I'm going to do the lid here. All right, so that's done. And I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. Any ribbon will do, but if you have a nice little ribbon. Here, I have one here, but that's a little bit too much, maybe. It's a little too blue. I'm sure I have something else here. There you go. This one here, I'm just going to cut out a piece like that. And I'm going to take it, fold it in two, grab my glue dot, oops, like that. And I'm going to glue it shut. And I'm going to grab another one. And I'm just going to add it right there. Like that. Look at that. And if I really wanted to be fancy, I could take that with just a little punch. And then I could add a glue dot on this one. A tiny glue dot. Like that. And I could add it at the edge of the ribbon. Whoops. It's sticking to my finger. That's how good the glue is. Like that. So that'll cover that piece. And it's still magnetic. And at this point, we can play with whatever we have left. I have some beautiful flowers here, and I think this is exactly what I'm going to use. So I'm going to add some beautiful little flowers, a collage of flowers. I just happened to grab this. Look at the beautiful butterfly. But there are no butterflies down here in the winter, just snowflakes. Not where I'm from anyway. And I'm just going to add, oh, let's do a little cluster here. Oh, cute, 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 cute. I love it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a giver? Do you think it'll work? I think that's a giver. There you go, guys. Simple as that. Then you can add whatever you want inside. I have, on this one here, I just added just some tissue paper that I had, but you can add whatever you want. You can dress the cover up if you wanted to some more. That's up to you. And you have yourself a little, I call it a wonky box. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. It's fun. Take the time to make one, you'll see. It takes not long at all. Have a great day, guys. Be creative. It is fun. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.